If you trace back much of the research that I've been involved in the last 5 to 6 years around buyer enablement and sense making, and some of the more recent work around frame making that I've been talking about in these videos, much of it goes back to a project that we ran at CEB a number of years ago that ultimately we reported on in an HBR article called The New Sales Imperative. And I'll try to link that here in the show notes. Um, and in many ways, the study was profoundly important for changing our understanding of just what's happening, not so much on the B2B selling side, but on the B2B buying side. And the upshot of that work was that we sort of addressed or identified two different ways of engaging with customers in our research. One was to be more responsive, and one was to be more prescriptive. So B2B sellers who were very responsive to customer needs. Whatever you need, I'm here for you. And if they ask for more information, you give them more information. If they want more options, you give them more options. That was the responsive approach. And compared to a prescriptive approach, where your answers might not be, yes, let me get that. How soon do you need it? But rather, your answer might be, let me actually stop and ask why you might need that. In fact, here's a different way to think about this. Given our experience, we think this might be more helpful. So you take your customer by the hand and you lead them through a process and be much more prescriptive about the problems they should be solving, the ways they should solve them, the features or benefits of your solution that might be most appropriate. And lo and behold, when we ran these two sort of approaches against each other in terms of business outcomes, so being responsive versus being prescriptive far and away outperformed being responsive. In fact, what was especially interesting about this research is that being responsive to customers' requests not only underperformed relative to being prescriptive, it actually did damage. So we could see in our data that the more responsive you were, oftentimes the more confused or stymied customers became in their ability to make large complex decisions on behalf of their company. And so much of the work that we've since done on customer confidence and customers' confidence in themselves, it all came out of this one crystallized finding. But here's the thing that usually gets overlooked about that particular body of work, which I think is so incredibly important even to this day. Because one of the things we did when we built this statistical research model is that we ran these two ideas of being responsive and being prescriptive right up against the actual outcome variable of commercial wins. And so quality wins, frequency of wins, what we called a high quality commercial deal at the time. And what we found is being prescriptive didn't increase the statistical likelihood of winning a high quality deal per se, which kind of means what doesn't the whole model fall apart? And the answer is no, it doesn't fall apart, but being prescriptive doesn't win you deals. It turns out that there's something between those two things that actually matters in the data. What really drives deals is the degree to which customers perceive the buying journey to be easy. Ease drives deals. Wow, that is so much easier. I can understand how to navigate this. I can understand how to make a decision. I can understand what criteria to use. The more likely customers are to perceive that purchase journey as easy, the more likely they are to buy a high quality deal. What's interesting about prescription is that it doesn't drive outcomes of high quality deals, it drives ease. And that, I think, becomes sort of this crystallizing understanding of what's really going on in this data. It's not just show up to your customer and be prescriptive and tell them what to do. Show up with your customer and be prescriptive in a way that they perceive the entire process to be easier. What we're solving for ultimately is customers' perceptions of effort and customers' perceptions of ease. And out of that one finding came everything else around being a frame maker or being frame making and sense making and buyer enablement, because all of those different approaches are designed to help customers feel that the buying journey and the decision making journey was just less burdensome, was just easier. And as a result, they felt more confident in their ability to make a decision on behalf of their company. So it's not so much solve for prescription or solve for enablement or solve for sense making. It is solve for ease. And ask yourself, what are the ways that we can make that happen?